It's very red, isn't it? TED. And I can't stand on a red circle and talk to you. I've got a green one. Green is my favourite colour, but this isn't about preference. The important thing is I've covered up the red, and if I'm covering it up, it might as well be green. On my feet, I'm wearing odd-coloured shoes, a yellow one and a green one. And I wear odd shoes because I like it. Years ago, I bought 2 pairs of the same trainers, a pink pair and a green pair. There's always a green pair. And I just decided it'd be fun to mix the colours, and I noticed by adding the pink one, it made the green look even nicer. It made it stand out. And thinking about it, if I was an octopus and I could wear 8 shoes, I'd probably wear 7 the same colour, and 1 green one, so it'd still stand out. 6 years ago, I got a diagnosis of Autism Spectrum Condition. And it took a long time to get used to the words in my mouth, the shape and the feel of them. The words felt like they belonged to somebody else, but they fit like a second skin, covering bones that never fit in. And once I knew them, I couldn't swallow them back down, and I didn't want to, because the words gave me the reasons and the ways to explain. Things I'm good at, hyperfocus, attention to detail, ideas, and the things I struggle with. And it's helped me to differentiate between my can'ts. The can't yet's where I've got a skills gap, the hard can'ts, and you know where you just can't be bothered. Or you don't want to do a thing, and you abbreviate it to I can't. And it helped me accept my hard can'ts. Look, I just said now about this red circle, and it's definitely a I don't want to, kind of can't. But it's not because I can't be bothered. It's because I want to do my best job here for you today, not be thinking about how that red feels through my feet. The hard can'ts for me are things like that I can't be coached around, things I can't learn. Like networking, I can be present, but I'm not engaging in it like everybody else. And it's not about a lack of confidence. And the reason I know it's not is because I'm doing this. At uni, my friends had to record my seminar that we were delivering to our classmates on video, and I wore a daft wig to further distract my discomfort. And it's no coincidence that I've carved my career backstage. So whenever I do anything like this, I feel out of place. But what if you can do things without feeling confident? And for me, this is better than networking. 1 blanket introduction, no small talk, no interjecting conversations. Hiya, I'm Kim. I'm 45 and I've been freelance for half of my life. I got patted on my head once at networking. I don't remember what I said, but I remember how it felt. But when I started to turn up as myself, I wore comfortable clothes. And I stopped scripting in advance and analysing after, did I say something daft? And I wore my odd shoes. And people would ask about them. Have you got another pair like that? I'd say, I do, yeah. But don't underestimate it. Sometimes I've got spare pairs. And sometimes the spare pairs have spares. And it's a proper do you do. Suddenly, wearing odd shoes had given me an accidental networking hack. And it had also hacked my own brain. I was having unscripted conversations with strangers, although it wasn't about work. Some people might see autism as genius or tragic or a superpower or a super weakness. And for me, day to day, somewhere in the middle on a sliding scale, and it just depends what I'm doing. I mean, I can do little thinking. I bought an aqua box, which, if you don't know, is a bunch of flowers in a bag of water in a box. And as I took the receipt off the florist, she said, keep it upright. I was absolutely over the moon. I was like, if I tip that up, are all the numbers going to drop off? And then I noticed she meant the flowers. I'll keep that for my accountant. A bigger part of the picture for me is my imagination. In fact, my work depends on it. I might not have understood there about the receipt, but sometimes I wonder things like, what if a foot had feet? And when I don't know how to fit in the world, I invent characters and spend time in theirs. I spend a lot of my time with imaginary and larger-than-life beings. And some of my characters come from pareidolia, and for me, I experience that much more intensely than the occasional face in a cloud. For example, a bit of old parcel tape clagged to the floor. To me, that's the pig or the whale on the path. And I just love characters. I like them better than people. It's quite a bold statement, isn't it, in a room full of people? As much as I love them, I don't want to be one. And that means sometimes I might say unconventional things. I was in a meeting once, a group meeting, and I was asked to introduce myself. And instead of saying my name, I asked for somebody's pink folder to go next to my green folder because it matched my shoes under the table. And to me, I was getting that out of the way so I could concentrate on what we were doing. When things like that happen, I do wonder whether I'll be trusted with projects and budgets. But what if not saying about the folders meant I couldn't say my ideas either? For some people, social interactions are easier. I've asked my friend permission to cross the threshold into her kitchen from the hallway because the flooring changed. And whenever we meet, we come from different starting points. And that's not just our physical locations, that's our backgrounds, how we're feeling on the day, the other things in our lives that are going on that shape our day. And for me, that's exactly the same. Now I was at a social gathering, and I was watching this kind of, what seemed to be a subconscious choreography of teapots and kettles and milk jugs and cups as people were getting settled and taking their coats off and catching up before they'd even sat down. Now I didn't know where to put my bottle of juice on the table. Now imagine the situation is a group meeting at work, and the teapots are the discussion, and your bottle of juice is your contribution. What if sometimes you're so busy trying to put part of yourself away that you can't speak? I'm going to have a go, if it's all right. I mean, you're not leaving, are you? So if it's not, I'm sorry. I'm going to have a go, if it's all right, at explaining sometimes what it feels like when I can't, using some technical terms that you might find if you work in clothes or costume. Together, my feet, heavy lasts, iron cast, connected. With hooks and eyes, my body rise waits me to the seat. My selvage skin where warp and weft meet, all knife plate neat, contained, tail attacked in, head red. Backstage, those loose thread thought leaks in my head. Nothing from pink welt pocket on my face except teeth and taste. I'm speechless. Have you ever been in a meeting and can't speak? Have you ever been so busy trying to part yourself away to appear professional that you can't say anything at all? What if, by the time you thought of something, the agenda's moved on because you're having to process the look and the smell and the sounds of the building as well? How do we know? How do we make sure it's not just the loudest voices that are heard? And how do we make sure we're not overlooking good ideas? Now remember, everybody's different, and some people would prefer to be networking than standing here. And the way to find out what works for each of us is to get to know the people we're working with as humans. Now, some things that have helped me are allowing different methods of communication. And that could look like a follow-up one-to-one after a meeting. It could be an email. It could be avoiding a let's go around the room and allowing me to have written contributions. And if I'm not speaking, I don't want that bringing to attention. I don't want to be volunteered to speak either. Extra time could look like getting sent the meeting agenda in advance, or a photo of the venue, or a video walkthrough. Gives me less to process on the day. And not introducing extra sensory things like food. That one will just rule me out completely. Just even saying that is ruling me out of my train of thought. Don't assume people not speaking have nothing to contribute. Assume people's contributions might be entirely situational. Now, I'm really comfortable talking about being autistic. But when it comes to work, feels like a risk. Asking for any of those things feels like a risk. Doing this talk feels like a risk. Not least because you now know why I'll choose. But what I'm doing is providing opportunity for people to judge me as being too much and not enough and less capable all at the same time. But I'm not less capable because every piece of work I've ever done, before and after my diagnosis, is autistic work. I can't cherry pick the best bits. Can't bring my ideas and my attention to detail and leave the hard can'ts at the door. And it shouldn't really be any different to asking for the best tools for the job or having the most up-to-date software, should it? I wonder if we should need a diagnosis at all for that. And I don't know if anything I've said today will make you want to work with autistic people. I certainly hope it hasn't put you off. But I do hope that it's been good enough for you to consider it, because none of us gets hired because we're the same. Maybe the beauty is in the difference. Maybe that's why I wear or choose.